Hello, welcome to Teletour. I am Aditya. As you all know, Teletour is an amazing platform for the tour guides to take the people on a virtual journey of the experiences they provide. Therefore, it is very important that these videos are made in most engaging manner. This 3-episode series is all about how to make better teletours. In the first episode, I will cover the art of storytelling and videography. The second episode is about sounds and voiceovers and sound voices. And in the third episode, I will explain basic of editing. Since most of you would have a nice smartphone, we will focus all the episodes on how to improve your videos using smartphones. So let's begin. Before you shoot any tour, you need to plan the entire tour. Walk the path of your tour before filming and note down the points you want to talk about at each location and where to point the camera and what do you want to show. Your teletour should tell a story. Think about the history, people, culture and community of where you are doing your tour and tell their stories. Think about what you would tell a friend visiting you for the first time and the stories you would tell them so that they really feel connected with where you are taking them. The way you speak on the camera can be made more engaging by just a little twist. For example, instead of saying, "Today we will be visiting the UNESCO World Heritage City of Ahmedabad," you can say, "Today I will take you on a journey through the lanes of Ahmedabad, the first UNESCO World Heritage City of India." The aim is to recreate a live picture in your audience's mind. When you start the tour, please start it by saying "Welcome to Teletour" and introduce yourself and the tour theme briefly. For example, "Hi, welcome to Teletour. I am Aditya with Soar Excursions, here in the magnificent Little Run of Kutch, Gujarat, India." During the tour, you should show what you want to show to the viewer. You can be shown in the tour at the beginning, at the end, and somewhere in the between if you want to. The final video should be between 5 to 15 minutes and it should be full of stories. In the end, you can invite your viewers to visit the place. So now let's jump into more technical aspects of videography using your smartphones. A good smartphone is capable of delivering some amazing videos. Before you start shooting from your phone, be sure to check the following. Clean both front and rear cameras with a clean tissue. Check thoroughly for any fingerprints, dirt, smudges on the lenses and clean them with wet and followed by dry tissue. Check that your phone's battery is fully charged. Check if there is enough storage space in your phone. It's always better to back up your phone media on a computer and delete it from the phone to free some space. Go to your phone's camera setting and see that it is set to best possible video resolution that the phone can offer. Put your phone on a silent mode or a flight mode so it doesn't create any disturbances while you are shooting. Before you start shooting the main video, do a small check and see the output. Once you hit the record button, don't start shooting immediately. Wait for 5 seconds after hitting the record and also before stopping the recording. This will help you while you are editing the video later. If possible, always use your phone's rear camera as it gives better quality of video. Always look at the camera of your phone and not yourself, especially while using front camera. It is extremely important that you keep an eye contact with the viewers. A phone alone is a great tool for creating some amazing videos. But if you want to invest a little more to get better out of your phone, it is best to invest in a gimbal stabilizer and a selfie stick. A gimbal stabilizer like this helps a lot while you are walking around and showing something or shooting from a moving car or panning your camera. If you are not using a gimbal for stabilizing your phone, make sure that you hold your phone properly with both hands. Rest your elbows on your body to give extra stability. While taking static shots, some of the places you can also put your phone on some stable surface and use some solid support like a brick or a book or a piece of wood to get extra stability. Never shoot while holding your phone with single hand, as it will give you a lot of shake in the video. Also remember that always shoot in horizontal position and never in a vertical position, because most of the online streaming platforms show the video in horizontal aspect ratios. Whenever you are part of the frame, it is always better to take help of someone to shoot. Shooting in selfie mode doesn't always give good results. If you don't have any help around, then a gimbal or a selfie stick will be very useful for the parts where you are part of the frame. While you are filming in bright daylight or indoors where there are powerful light sources, always see that the light source or sun is behind you or on the sides. In other words, position yourself between the light source and the subject to get better exposure and avoiding blown out highlights or very dark shadows. While shooting outdoors, if possible, shoot in the early morning or evening when the light is soft and at an angle. Most of the smartphones have an option of exposure lock. Exposure lock prevents the phone from continuously changing the exposure while shooting. You can set and lock the exposure for every scene separately. For setting the exposure lock, point the camera at the frame that you want to shoot. Tap on the part where you want to set the exposure. Now long press on the same place, so you will get a message of exposure lock. You can also reduce or increase the exposure value by sliding the exposure button. How you frame your shot plays very important role in making it more pleasing to the viewers. The most basic and most important rule while framing is called the rule of thirds. Imagine your entire frame divided in 9 equal parts by 2 horizontal and 2 vertical lines. The best point to place your main subject will be at the cross sections of these lines. If you are part of the frame and directly talking to your audience, or you are showing some frame with symmetry, then you can position yourself in the center of the frame. But if you are walking or showing some monument or some activity, it's better to position yourself off center and show the building or person or activity in the rest of the frame, maintaining the rule of third and giving more free space towards the part where you are looking or pointing. Also, try to leave some headroom unless you are shooting something extremely close up. Headroom helps to compensate for different aspect ratios without cutting some important part of the subject. Most of the smartphones have option of showing grid in their cameras in their settings. This grid will help you for composing your frames by the rule of thirds. Most people usually keep the horizon in center of the frame, but see what happens if we move it to the upper or the lower horizontal line from the rule of thirds. Keeping the horizon at 1/3 of the frame significantly improves the frame. You can also decide what element of the frame you want to give more importance. If you want to give more importance to the beautiful sky, then you can keep the horizon on the lower third of the horizontal line. And if you want to give more importance to the landscape or the buildings, then you can keep the horizon on the upper horizontal line. Along with the rule of thirds, different camera angles are used to help enhance the narrative, the theme, and the overall mood of the film. Depending on subject size within the frame, there are 3 different types of basic camera shots: the close-up shot, medium shot, and the long shot. A close-up shot is a shot taken of a subject at a close range in order to capture minute details of the subject. You can use this type of shot for showing details of some archaeological motifs or patterns of textile or details of some food dishes and so on. A medium shot or a waist shot is captured at a medium distance from the subject. This can be used when you are showing interactions between some people or when you are having a back and forth dialogue within the scene. The long shot also known as the wide shot, is oftentimes used as an establishing shot in a film, as it normally sets the scene and the character's place within it. You can use this shot for starting your teletour to show where the tour is happening. Apart from these shots, you can also play with the camera angles and the placement to affect mood and narrative of the film, like a high angle shot to provide an overview of the scene, a low angle shot to show the subject quite larger than it actually is, or a tilt of camera angle to create some dramatic effect. So now when you plan to shoot a teletour, you know a variety of ways you can play with the closeness and camera angle. Take as much footage as possible. Shoot multiple angles and at multiple distances. Take multiple shots of the same things so that you can select the best ones for your editing. Shoot as many things as you can, not just focusing on your main subject. Make sure that you shoot everything with and without you being in the frame. This will give you a greater liberty while editing. Shots other than the main subject, known as the B-rolls, can be very useful for making your main subject interesting and can be used as filling frames while doing transition from one subject to another subject. Something interesting happening other than your main subject, or something colorful like a dog walking or some hoardings or some activity happening around. All these can be useful as B-rolls. So try to shoot close-ups, wides, all different angles of any other activity that you see other than your main subject. So let's sum up what we have learned so far. First, before you start the trip, plan the trip in detail. Check your phone's battery level, memory, and clean the lenses thoroughly. Check your phone's video settings and put them to the best possible resolution. Second, while shooting, tell as many stories as possible and make your content engaging. Focus on framing and composition by the rule of thirds. Experiment various camera angles and compositions. Don't forget to lock the exposure. Take multiple videos with multiple angles. Take videos with and without you being in the frame. Take as many B-rolls as possible. Use a gimbal stabilizer if possible. Once you sit and start doing the voiceover, you will realize how important it is to have ample videos. So that was all in a nutshell about the basics of videography using smartphones. I hope the video will be useful to you all for making some amazing teletours. I will discuss about the sounds and the voiceovers in the next episode. Thank you, and let's teletour again.